Podcast.
Welcome to this episode of the Encore Podcast with me, Rob McConnell. Our next guest is a County Antrim musician, independent, singer-songwriter, someone who's just recently released a new song called Easy and is very well known now for his appearance on the bus with the Belfast Fleadh in 2026. It is, of course, Tiernán Heffron. Hi Tiernán, how are you?
I'm good, thanks Rob, thanks for having me on.
Good, brilliant. Well listen, we're going to just reflect a bit. Obviously we both were around last week with the Fleadh. First time it was in Belfast. How crazy was it?
It was unbelievable. It was it was great for Belfast. I think it was great for everyone. It was amazing.
And for yourself, what have you been doing since?
Since then, well, you know, it's only been a few days since, but I've tried to take a couple of days just to get myself back, reset the body clock, look after myself a wee bit, because obviously there was a lot of singing over the week with my voice. But now I'm just back to doing a bit more writing and a lot of gigs coming up. So.
And do you find if you're playing with that sort of frequency and cadence that you are quite hoarse, and how does that all work?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's okay when you're doing the gigs. I feel like your voice is kind of, it's going with it. It's used to it. But like any musician or singer knows, it's the morning. You wake up and you're sounding like Johnny Cash. Yeah. And then your voice slowly but surely comes back during the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So take me back a wee bit, back to the Tiernán household, way back. What was it like? Where did it all start?
So, I actually can't remember the first time I wrote a song.
Wow.
But my mum, when I was about 17, 18, she was clearing out her, you know, mums have a lot of drawers in her bedroom and clearing out different wee scrapbooks and that, and she went, look at this, and I went, what's that? And it was a wee tiny notebook with a guitar on it, and it said Tiernán's first song, age 4.
Wow.
And it said the coloured song, and it was like red and yellow and green and blue as the colours from me and you, apparently. And I wrote that, and I can't remember writing that song, so I've been probably subconsciously just writing songs since I was a wee kid.
Do you not think you could maybe release that one?
Who knows? Could be an A and B side to that one.
Brilliant. And who was the first artist that you heard and you sort of made you think, I want to do that?
Yeah. I was 5 years old, and me, my mum and dad and my sister, Alicia, they took us to the Odyssey to see Westlife.
Really?
Yeah. And I still remember it. I remember being on like my dad's shoulders, being like, why is there so many grown screaming women at these men in white suits? And that's my earliest memory of a concert. Yeah. And then I don't know, I just came home and I just wanted to keep singing, and it all kind of came from that.
So inspired by Westlife. And they're coming back. A bit of a punt for them for the O2. They've, I think, the 5 or 6 dates now coming up in the autumn.
Yes, there is.
And will you be there? Are you still a fan?
I am still a fan, surely. Yeah, I would. Hopefully, I would like to be there. Yeah, I'd like to go and watch it, definitely.
Strong vocalists, obviously, you know, across. We had Brian McFadden in here. Obviously, he left Westlife and started Boys Life. So the guys were in here recently, but very strong vocalists.
He's brilliant. I was at that gig, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, they were both great, but Brian's voice was just...
Well, that night, actually, Brian, he had just flown in and arrived and had a throat infection.
No way.
He did, and I went up to the mayor's dressing room, and we had sent the doctor up. And it was a really funny one because Brian, I got an introduction to Brian, said hello to him, and he said, I'm going, you know, spoke to the doctor and said about having a bit of whiskey, you know, that should sort me out. And she said, oh no, you can't be drinking whiskey. What about potching?
Oh, okay.
So I said, listen, we could do whiskey on the premises. I'm not sure we can do potching.
Yeah. If my mother-in-law to be hears about that, she'll have a laugh, because keep me away from whiskey, because on Christmas night last year I had too much fun on whiskey.
Is that right?
I don't want to look at Tullamore Dew.
What? Oh, is that the one?
Yeah, I enjoyed it too much.
Yeah, it gives you the shudders now.
So no whiskey before a gig for me.
And so I read that you had, did you win a talent show at around the age of 15? Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so I won a School Talent Show when I was about 15, which was, you know, it was great because it kind of gave me some sort of purpose. I wasn't really exactly the best when it came to school with education, learning, but when it comes to music, I feel that there was something I could focus in and put my energy in. But even before that, just taking it back to a little bit about the Fleadh, I forgot to say when you're chatting about my childhood, that so my dad's side of the family, the Heffrons, would have been very musical, and my dad had, 5 brothers and sisters, including himself. So my granda and my great aunt Sheena would have brought them round Ireland at the Fleadhs, performing all 4 and 6 of them.
Right.
Start off as 4 piece and then the whole 6 of them. So they would have toured round playing traditional Irish music, and my granda, he would have wrote a lot of poems and a lot of songs along with his sister Sheena, but they never wanted to, maybe it was just that older generation, they never wanted to become famous, they never wanted to take it farther. For my 18th birthday, my aunt actually gave me she framed all these notes and letters that they got from record labels in the 1950s and 60s. We heard your voice, we'd love to take you to America, we'd love to sign you, we'd love to give you a 5-album deal. And they just went, the hell with that, come on, we'll go out to the Fleadh. Whereas I'm like, I want to take it as far as I can of with my music, in honour of them too. So it was amazing that I had this little glimmer of hope at the Fleadh with the bus video, but 50 years ago there's a video of my aunt, my great aunt and my granda singing at the Fleadh down in, I think it was like Sligo or Waterfront or something.
How mad's that?
Kind of gives me
repeating
goosebumps.
itself.
Yeah. Maybe they're looking down on me thinking, here, we'll give you a bit of luck.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And because one of the things I'm going to ask you about has your family been supportive, or have been saying, here, Tiernán, get yourself a proper job? Has that ever come up?
Oh yeah. Look, my mum and dad have been amazing. I would not be where I am without the help and support of my mum and dad. Were great. My mum believing in me before anyone ever did, and still does. And my dad used to take me to all my gigs before I even had a license. So when I was gigging when I was 14, 18, he's a lorry driver. So he'd be up early on a Monday morning at 5:30, and he would have been taking me out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sleeping sometimes during my gigs in the van and bringing me home. And he never asked for thanks. He never asked for anything. He just done it. Which says 1,000 words really. Yeah. But my dad would be quite quiet. He wouldn't be
humble.
very humble. He wouldn't be too overexcited about anything. You just say, I mean, if I sold out Wembley tomorrow, he'd go, well done.
My dad was the same.
But
I used to get dead on, son. That's good. But and you're like, can you a wee bit more excitement, please?
Yeah, but I mean, you wouldn't change that, and I think the older you get, you start to realise that. But there was definitely always that. We used to fall out, and I was 14 or 15. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and like, maybe you should get your GCSEs first. Do you not believe in me? Do you not believe in me? I'm going to do music. Yeah, that's great, but maybe you should just, they're very more like, have a backup plan.
Yeah, which is sensible.
Which I found very offensive. Yeah. I'm like, do you not believe in me? But then the older you get, you kind of understand that. And I suppose in my head, I didn't have a backup plan, but I started working in a school with special needs kids and got my qualifications, and that kind of kept my mum and dad happy while I was living at home alongside doing my music. And then I came to the point where I could leave that and do music full time.
But there must have been uber confidence there. Like, you didn't need permission to do what you were doing, because you must. Where does that inner confidence come from?
I think there. I don't know. There's a lot of things growing up that I wasn't very confident about. Just day-to-day stuff, really. I mean, when I was 17, I did a job in Costa, and I never felt as nervous on the coffee machine or at the till in my life. People were asking me, I was like, ugh. But then I could go and do a gig that evening to whoever.
It's
and
amazing, that, isn't it? Incredible contrast.
Yeah. So I think it's just always been in me, and I think my mum and dad really drove it into me. And there was a lady when I went to school called Claire Hamilton, who played a big part in my life growing up. She was student counsellor, and I used to see her and get out of class, and she just chat about my feelings. Yeah. More so to get out of class and play guitar.
But there's something in that in terms of mentorship, coaching, somebody giving you a different perspective. I've had various Encore episodes in here, and there's usually somebody along the way outside of the family who provides a degree of guidance, and so for you that was that time
Yeah, she's told me that there's no such thing as can't.
Mm-hmm.
And as silly as that sounds, even now I still think about that.
But that was quite early to be telling you
Yeah.
that as well, which is good. And I suppose you've seen it at the Fleadh there. I know we keep going back to the Fleadh because it's the biggest thing to hit Belfast ever, I think.
Yeah.
And we're fresh off the back of it, you and I.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of us is fresh. I'm not sure. Not sure I'm so
You're
fresh.
looking fresh.
But one of the things that I was very keen to do through that process was showcase young artists, so
Mhm.
younger than yourself, and
Mhm.
we had 10-year-olds, we had little girls coming up with their guitars, and
We did.
full credit to you because you embraced that wholeheartedly. You sang with them. Actually, one of the little girls, Orla Reynolds, 10-year-old Orla, who is the sister of Niamh Reynolds, the boron player who plays in our Celtic Heart show. You actually took off your very expensive Loudon guitar. We'll give Loudon a pitch, locally made instruments, George and Aaron Loudon, and you put it round her neck and you sang and she played. And I mean, what does that mean to you?
That's everything.
Mm-hmm.
You could go on and be the most successful artist in the world, but if you don't look after the younger generation coming up, what does it really mean? Because it's so important to nurture that talent. If someone's only 8 years old or 9 years old now,
Mm-hmm.
in 10 years, 10 years goes by like that, they're going to be 18, 19.
Mm-hmm.
And they're always going to remember that moment when someone believed in them. And it really is worth its weight in gold to look after that talent and big young people up. So to me, it's very important. It's the
That
most important
inspiration.
thing. Yeah.
Was there somebody that you, as you were going through, that there was that inspiration in music that you could that you were following, or you seen at times, you thought that's what I want to be?
Yeah, I had a lot of support. I had a couple of great music teachers in school growing up. One of them was a man named Jerry McLaren, who unfortunately passed away, but which is really sad. Because when I was first year, there was a parent teachers meeting, and I'll never forget it. You go round all your different subjects with your mum, and it was like October, so we only had a month. Going around everyone, Maz needs to learn, needs to focus. English, he's talking a lot. Science, and I was I'm going to get in trouble when I go home here. And then we came to music, and everyone was going out of the hall. It was all becoming quiet, and Mr. McLaren sat down with my mum, and I went, okay, I might have some hope. Maybe there's some hope here, please. And he just went, Tiernán has more talent in his wee finger than the whole year put together.
That's amazing.
And that's all I can say. He's
Yeah.
going to do great, and he's got his music. Other things are important, get them too, but he'll be fine. And my mum looked at me, and she looked proud.
Yeah.
And we'll always remember that. And it's the tiniest little moments like
Affirmation.
that. Yep, you
Yeah.
never forget, and you take it with you. So
Yeah.
God rest his soul.
Yes, absolutely. That's amazing. And so you spent a bit of time outside of Northern Ireland. You set sail and went to New York. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, in 2018, just after I finished college at Belfast Met, that summer, me and my manager at the time, we went out to New York and we shot a music video independently. And he used to work in DJing in Ibiza, and he became friends with a very well-known radio presenter called Hollywood Hamilton out there, who works for KTU. So when we were out there, we gave him a message and he got back to us. So we ended up going into like the same room as like Justin Bieber was there the week before.
Wow.
Taylor Swift was there not too long before that, and we got on air at one of the biggest radio stations in New York, which was incredible.
Huge.
And we met so many great people on that trip, but I think something that I learned from that trip was to be more prepared.
Yeah.
Because we kind of went out and we won it, And I don't want to get into it too much, but we shot the music video and we thought, well, it'd be a great idea to get a crazy suit for this video, and we did, and I regret that. We had to take the whole video down. It was
The video still is out there somewhere though.
It's out there somewhere in the midst of YouTube, but I must try to track it down and get it took down.
Well, as soon as I finish this discussion, I'll be tracking it down to see what you're
So,
talking about.
If we're going to be honest, that happened on that trip, but hey, we live and we learn.
Brilliant. And in songwriting, do you think songwriting can be taught? Or is it something just that you have, or
I think it's a great question, because yes, there is certain things like any craft that can make it better. If you work and you spend a lot of hours on something, you're going to become better at it. But I don't think it's something that can be taught, no. I think anyone could do it, but you need to be real open-hearted with what you're writing about.
And what makes a good song, do you think?
The feel for it. If someone can connect to it, and sounds terrible, but I mean, if you can make someone cry with your song, that's like the highest compliment you can get. Or make someone laugh, or make someone smile. You know, I have studied songwriting. I've went to college in BIM in Manchester, and you know, they would even tell you there is music theory. It will help. There's rhyming schemes that will help. But the best songs that I've ever wrote have come from the heart. When I just have this moment. I think Leonard Cohen said something great one time. I think, you know what I'm going to say, do you know? He's like, if he knew where songs came from, he'd go there a lot often.
Yeah, that's a
and I would surely do that too.
That's a class saying. And is there a song that you've written that people haven't heard yet, in terms of you would say it's one of the best songs? Now, that might seem like a strange question, but sometimes artists have songs and they bury them, or they're not sure. They know they're a cracker, but they're just not coming forward with them for whatever reasons. Have you any sort of songs like that?
I do, yeah. I mean, there's a song that I wrote in 2020, which is like American country song, that I keep trying to release and keep trying to get it, but I can't just get the production right. And now that's like nearly 6-7 years ago when I wrote that song. So I'm like, it's strange how people say there's a time and a place for a song, and maybe it's not the time and place just yet. But maybe, who knows, in a couple of years I might release that one. But there is a song I wrote recently, and I think something with songwriting that I kind of struggled with, that I'm becoming more mature in my writing, is that I think everyone goes through like a bit of a dark period in their life, and a bit of a tough time, and I feel like I held back some of my lyrics because I don't want my family or my mom or my dad to hear how deep this could be or what I've been through. So I kind of held back in my writing. And recently I wrote a song called I See the Light. It's all about hope. It's all about, you know, redemption. And coming back from a really dark time in your life. And I just wrote that song, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to write this for me, and it might help other people. And I think it's one of the most realist songs I've ever written. And I think that'll be coming out at some point when I release it.
So, looking forward to that.
Yeah, that one.
I'm intrigued now.
Yep.
And so there was a night in a bar, I'm not sure if it was Dublin or Belfast, which kind of changed the trajectory of your story.
Yeah, it did.
In walked a very famous individual who's found worldwide stardom. Talk me through that.
So it was a Friday night in 2021. I was only 22 at the time, and I was gigging in the Tipsy Bird in Belfast. I had a residency out there every Friday night, and Taylor Swift actually ended up walking into the gig. And
it's like the start of a joke, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was like a joke, because when I was playing that night, things just, you know, you're doing a gig, there's feedback, the guitar's out of tune, you know, it just wasn't clicking. And I was a bit stressed, and I was like sweating and like flustered, and a woman came up to me, she went, "Hey mate, just like, you know, Taylor Swift just walked in." And I'm like, oh my goodness. I've done a lot of gigs before, but I've never heard that one. And then I kind of had a wee laugh to myself, like, imagine she did walk in this here. And I looked up, and there she was, just walking through the room. And I knew there and then, I was like, oh my goodness. So I took like 5 minutes, and I just stopped what I was doing. Everyone's like, "What are you doing? Are you stopping? Like, Taylor Swift's here." And I'm like, give me a second. So I just had to like readjust all the sound, and then I just went for it.
That was an interesting thing to do. That showed a lot of maturity, actually, because you could have panicked and just kept playing.
Yeah.
But you said, you stopped the wagon and said, right, okay,
yeah,
I'm going to settle myself here. You said about readjusting the music. Yeah. So what do you?
Yeah, I just put everything to the mid, to like 12 o'clock, and just tried to go from the start, really. And because I thought, if anyone's going to know it's not going to sound good, it's her here. But one thing that did cross my mind is, like, since I was 12, I've been gigging in bars and, you know, open mics and everything that would let me in. And there's always that part of you in the back of your head hears these stories of, like, getting discovered, or like you know, like Sam Fender, Ben Howard's manager wanting into the bar, and there's gigs where you just wish that would happen. And I did know in my head, I'm like, you know, when you go on TikTok and you put in acoustic singer-songwriter, there's like millions of younger artists, and I just said to myself, like, the amount of millions of people who would die to be in this, standing on this stage right now, and I'm so grateful that I've been given this opportunity, so I'm going to do the best I can. And yeah, so many magical things happen from it.
And did you become, in that moment, hyper aware of your notes and your pitch and every, you know, did you all of a sudden become very self-conscious? Or did you just do your thing? I
just kind of done my thing. Although my knees were shaking like the whole time.
Well, it's not easy to perform when that's the case. No,
it wasn't. I was going to sit down. I thought maybe it looks like I don't really care if I'm sitting down. So I just did what I've always done, and I treated her as just this exact same as everyone else, because at the end of the day, she's an extremely successful woman, but she's someone who is a songwriter, who is an artist, who, you know, loves what she does. So I just thought I would treat her normally like everyone else and give her the best night I could.
Brilliant. And was there anything that happened that people don't know about? Was there anything interesting that you would share with us?
Yeah, there is actually. There is. Well, she stayed for 3.5 hours that night.
Well, that's impressive.
I think she was on a pub crawl, right? And I'm like, I need to get her to stay.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Well, that's impressive.
Yeah. And she danced, she sang along, she was very supportive. She gave me £400 out of her own money. Yeah.
Wow.
50s.
In 50s?
2, 3.
Wow.
She gave it to me, and she said, you know, this is for you. Well done with what you're doing. Keep believing in what you're doing. And, you know, she asked me my name, how she could follow what I was doing. But there was one thing that I've never spoke about that she did that night that I've never said. You're never going to believe this, Rob.
No.
She took out her phone.
No.
And started videoing.
No way.
I'm on her phone.
So, obviously, there's a lesson here, which is there's being discovered, but it doesn't necessarily mean making it, does it? You know, there's a difference there.
Yeah, I don't really believe in the term making it anymore. Yeah, of course, when you're younger and you go on to be successful, you know, you're making it in some ways, but I think making it is really being successful and being happy and having your health and your closest people you love around you. Because if you went on and you're mega successful and famous, but then things weren't you know, together in shape, nothing else really matters.
Well, we've seen that time again with successful, well, what you would deem potentially as successful people who have made it.
Yeah.
Their lives are misery.
Yeah.
For many, money doesn't necessarily make them what they maybe thought it would make them. The media attention brings its own challenges.
Yeah.
So I think I see totally where you're coming from. It's that, you know, what does success mean to you is what's important, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And, like, don't get me wrong, there's with success and with travelling, shall it be on a huge scale or a lower scale, there's a lot of loneliness, there's a lot of hotels by yourself, there's a lot of nights you're left in your own head. You know, a lot of artists deal and struggle with substances because they're lonely and they want to numb themselves from what they're going through, or, you know, having a beer after a gig to wind down. It's also can be a slippery slope. But there's definitely goals that I have in mind I would love to achieve, and in my head, that could be making it, you know. And
it's interesting because you know, I've seen you perform. One thing, you don't eat before you perform or even drink.
No.
So talk about that.
It's kind of a strange new thing that I've kind of discovered about myself. If I have a podcast or a gig coming up or an interview, a bit like a job interview, not that I'm like dead nervous, but like I can't eat really before it, or like drink before it or anything. Maybe a bit of water. Don't know. It must be a nervous thing. Just maybe my own way thing that I have got,
So following on playing in the bars, so, you know, that moment with Taylor Swift, etc., and then not long after that, you're on the Ulster Hall. You're supporting Mr. Brennan.
That's incredible.
How was that?
That was a dream come true. Now, definitely. Talking about like manifesting. I was working in the school at the time, and I mean, like 6 or 7 months before the Tom Grennan's gig, I put up a video on my lunch break of me singing "Little Bit of Love," and been like, you know that TikTok thing, can we make this blow up? So Tom Grennan sees this, and I open for him in the Ulster Hall.
Wow,
yeah,
that is manifesting.
It really backfired in a great way.
Yeah.
And then around the time of the Taylor Swift hype, Tom Grennan heard about the story, and I was asked to be on Capital Breakfast, and they asked me who's my dream artist, or who I'd like to open for, and I just went, Tom Grennan, and they went, we actually have Tom Grennan on the call. I thought it was a prank. Tom Grennan came on and asked me to open up for him in Belfast and Dublin,
So
and
cool.
I actually had forgot at that time that I made that TikTok video until someone found it and reposted it, and I'm like, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
But it was a great experience. I loved it.
And standing there on the Ulster Hall stage, looking out at the audience, talk about that.
It was incredible. You could be anywhere in the world playing, but if there's one place that I wanted to at that age, and even now, is to play, is the Ulster Hall, because you grew up with your family going to gigs there in your home city, and you dream about, standing on that stage. Could I stand on that stage? Would I be good enough to? And when I had my family and my closest friends there. It was amazing to stand there and look down and see my mum and dad and see them looking proud. It was great.
And of course, you and I have been talking about doing that once more. Well, not just once, but we're talking about our big stage show, which will be happening in the new year. So the concept for the audience really is that we take people like yourself, and also we bring other bigger artists, and we position them more as support for you, and it's really giving you that big stage. So what's your thoughts about that? Are you feeling excited about it?
Extremely excited, and thank you so much for believing me and for giving artists like myself that opportunity. I've always said getting opportunities is the hardest bit, but like doing it, it's not easy, but like it's what you're born to do. So I'm super excited
about it.
Can't wait to walk out on that stage 5 or 6 years later.
Yeah, no, it's going to happen, and we'll be on sale with tickets actually in the next couple of weeks, so people can go to waterfront.co.uk or ulsterhall.co.uk and purchase those tickets. Just come back to Tom Grennan then. So was there something you learnt from observing Tom and how he operated?
Yeah, it was his professionalism, how professional he was. When I was just off stage, he was about to go on stage. I could hear him warming up in his dressing room, with his band, and it was like when I watched his performance, like it was just so, like you knew he wasn't winging it. Like everything was even choreographed to like where he was standing, where he was walking, his interaction with the band. And something that I thought was quite funny as well was like some of my friends and people who know me were like after the gig being like, where's Tom? Like, where's he partying tonight? Is he in the Heart Bar? Is he going out in Belfast, or where is he? And he was just going back to his hotel room to get a flight to go to, I think it was like Sweden the next morning. Yeah. And he wasn't drinking, he wasn't going out partying, he was doing his probably vocal warm downs and then just hitting the bed and going to the gym the next morning. That's
discipline.
What he was telling me. Yeah, discipline. So it's not like it's not all that people are cracked up to be. Like people think he's just going out on a big mad one after, but really they're looking after themselves. Yeah. And
when it comes to venues, is there a venue in your head you would love to sell out in your own name?
Yeah.
Now you can be very. This doesn't have to be our venues.
Yeah.
But is it
all your venues?
All our venues. No pressure. Yeah.
Yeah. No, not gonna lie. Just coming from Northern Ireland and growing up in Belfast and going to college in Belfast and busking, there's obviously the iconic ones in Belfast like the Ulster Hall, the Waterfront, the now O2 has always been one. I'm genuinely not saying this, but the Waterfront, is one that I've always wanted to perform at, because when I was going to Belfast Met when I was 16, I used to walk by here like every morning from the train, looking up at it, being like, wow, maybe someday.
Past stage door.
Yeah, past the stage door, and I have did a bit of crew work in here, and you're supposed to go out and help pack down and stuff, but I was, as soon as I could go on stage, I used to stand and be like, wow, this would be cool.
Yeah.
I seen James Arthur here when I was 14 for James Arthur's first big gig in Belfast. I was a big fan of him, still am. So here would be amazing. Trying to think of somewhere outside of here in Northern Ireland. Probably like Shepherd's Bush Empire would be a really good
You
one.
played in the Albert Hall.
In
recent months. Don't forget about
Forgot
that.
about that.
that was when I seen that, I was just so delighted for you.
Oh, thanks. Oh, that was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
That all came through the King's Trust, which is a great help for me. Now I'm a proud young ambassador for them.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. When I was 19, I went through a really tough period of my life, and I was out of routine, and I ended up doing the team program at that time, which helped me get into special needs work, got my love for music back, and then now I'm a young ambassador for them, and I was very, very lucky to get the opportunity to perform at the 50th anniversary.
Yeah, seen it. Yeah, it's amazing.
Which was incredible.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, sorry,
Pinch me moment.
it really was. I'm gonna say, there's something about when you perform at the Albert Hall, like you just want to do it again.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put that down again there.
Yeah.
To perform there again.
Great. And I hope all those dreams come true. Playing in the Waterfront Hall. Obviously, we'll do our best to see how we make that happen.
Exciting.
So obviously, just moving on then, Nashville. You arrived in Nashville, so going from County Antrim into Nashville, where songwriting is the creme de la creme. Talk about that experience.
Yeah. So there was a movie called Forever My Girl. Are you familiar with it?
I've heard of it. Yeah,
it's on Netflix. My mum absolutely loved that movie, and she told me to watch it, and I did. And the soundtrack was incredible. So I did a cover one Christmas of the main song for the movie, and called Enough. And on the comments of the YouTube, there was a comment saying, "Thank you so much for doing such a great rendition of my song," and it said Brett Boyette, and I was like, interesting. So I clicked on it, and I had like a couple of subscribers, grey profile. I was like, is this real? Put his name into Google, and it was like a Grammy Award winning songwriter producer from Nashville. So I reached out to him, and I said, I got your comment, and thanks. And he said, look, if you're ever in Nashville, let me know. That was all I needed. That was it. I was like, perfect. I'm there next summer.
Brilliant.
So I booked the flights, and I went over, and I met him, and we started working together.
Wow.
I only knew one person, and that was him. And we ended up releasing a song called We Were Liars on.
I love it
him,
too. It's a great song.
And some of Keith Urban's band ended up playing on the song too, which was
how cool is that? It's a great song.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, and anybody that listen to this that hasn't heard or listened to your songs, Tiernán, some Easy, Strangers. I love Strangers.
Oh, thanks. I like that one. Those
are all real belter songs of the highest quality.
Thank you.
Did going to Nashville change your style of writing it?
It did in a way, and in another way it didn't. I found that, when you go to Nashville and you're writing with the top songwriters, it's great, but like there's sessions at a certain time at a certain place, and yes, magic can happen if you do that. But also at the same time, it's quite hard to force your songs and music. Like I said at the start of this chat, the best songs I ever wrote were songs that I wrote when I was doing the dishes, or going a walk, or driving. So yeah, definitely in a way it did, but in another way it made me even more confident in my own abilities that songs can happen whenever.
But that resonates with me. I mean, I don't write music, but my best thinking comes when I'm in the car, or I'm going for a walk. When you step away, I guess. So that's no different, I guess. If you're in music or if you're in any other type of industry, that's whenever the magic kind of happens. That thinking. I've talked on a podcast, the Natural Resilience podcast. I was interviewed by a chap called Kieran May, the host, and now a good friend. But he picked up on that piece I talked about, think time. If you build in think time. Now, if you're going from gig to gig to gig to gig, It's hard to get your think time.
It is,
isn't it?
Yeah, you put a lot of energy into it, and then it's hard to kind of to focus your brain on one thing. But I was actually listening to a podcast that James Bay was on, and he was talking about a thing called idle time when he's younger. So when he was a kid, his mum and dad just used to let him sit and daydream and look out the window. And you think you're doing nothing, what are you daydreaming about? But actually they were programming him to believe and visualize his dreams. You know, sometimes when you feel like you're doing nothing, you're actually doing everything. So I could be sitting there, it looks like I'm doing nothing, but I'm actually letting my mind wander and daydream about songs, about ideas, about goals, about lyrics. And I feel like that's the kind of time stuff comes to you. So like idle time.
And recently you launched Easy.
Yes.
So that's only a number of months old now, isn't it? Back in May, was it?
Yeah, back in May.
Talk to me about how that evolved. You know, where did that come from?
So that song I actually wrote with James Bay's older brother, Alex, who goes under the name of Alex Francis, an incredible artist from London, well, based in London. And I wrote it with his friend as well, Ben Simons. When I was in London, I feel like I'm going London. So yeah, we had a session coming up and we were all together, and I really wanted. So I've wrote quite a lot of like acoustic kind of love song, ballads, slower songs, but I really wanted to write something that was radio friendly, like the Jonas Brothers or Joe Jonas, kind of vibe. And at that time, we were just had a chat about relationships and partners, and you know, we wanted to write a song that, like, you know, even when I'm not around, even when I'm not there, the love is still about when you're traveling. And yeah, that's what the song Easy's about.
And if you were wanting to give one of your songs to an artist to sing, who would that artist be? So one of your hits, one of your big songs, who would you love to hear singing it?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would love to hear Lewis Capaldi singing Forever.
Yeah.
The song that I've got called Forever. Yeah, I think he would do a great job on that.
I think that's a call out, isn't it? Lewis, if you're listening.
Capaldi, Forever.
Can we get you onto the Waterfront stage?
Yeah.
With Tiernán Heffron singing Forever.
That'd be cool. Or I'm a big fan of Aaron Rowe. At the minute, I think he's fantastic.
He's
love
a
his music,
great artist. Yeah. Wow. So yeah, and you can visualize that. That's something you would love to see happening.
Yeah, definitely.
So social media makes kind of musicians look glamorous. I think, you know, and that life look glamorous. But you know, give us a bit of an insight into what that's really like. You know, is it difficult to financially from streaming, and give us an insight into how that works, because I think a lot of people wouldn't really understand it. They listen to it and they go onto Spotify or some of the other streaming platforms, and it's so easy to get the music. You know, I've listened to all your music through Spotify, in and out of work, in the car, and you know, but how does that all work behind the scenes? What's the mechanics of it?
Well, for an artist like myself, when you're totally independent, you haven't got any label, you've no manager, you've no one funding you, investing you for your own music, which is I'm not going to knock it. It's good in a way, because you know, if you put your own music money, invest into your songs, you own all the rights to them, you own the masters, you own the writing credits, you own, you know, everything to it. So if the songs do well, you can start to see things back. Now I think on Spotify you get 0.000p per play, and a song needs to be streamed over 30 seconds for it to become a stream, so you can't just like stream.
So you saying you need me every journey I have out to the Antrim coast every day, twice a day, just to be playing your tunes, and that's going to build up enough money to buy you a box.
Meal deal.
That's what I was going to say, a bargain box out of one of the fast food joints. Yep.
I think you need to get 1 million streams on Spotify, you get like £2,000 back, and now that's class. Like if you have a song that's starting to take off, great, you're going to see stuff back, but it's very hard to kind of get there unless you don't have a viral moment or viral video. But I feel like social media is like the highlights of, you know, people living their best life. You you know, if you've seen stuff on my social media, I try to make it as real as I can.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like me performing on the bus, or me.
Talk to us about that, because how
Okay.
did that come about? And it's got a lot of hits, hasn't it?
It's got at the minute it's sitting on over 5 million.
No.
I don't even think there's 5 million people in the country.
Well, it's obviously going broader than Northern Ireland, isn't it? So 5 million views.
Yep.
Wow. So how did that happen?
So it was on the Monday night. It was the first night that I was actually up playing at the Fleadh.
Mm-hmm.
And myself, Kushla and her family got the park and ride bus back to the car park. And when we got on the bus, we were all having a bit of crack. I suppose, it's the end of the night. Everyone's maybe had a few drinks and all, in good form and all, chatting about where we're from and everything and how it was all going. And they noticed I had a guitar. They're like, get your guitar out, give us a song. And I thought, no, I actually wasn't going to do it. And Kushla said to me, just do it, nothing to lose, get your guitar out. So, when she says, get a guitar out, you have to do it. So I thought, right. And now I'm not going to lie, in the back of my head, I thought, these are the kind of moments that maybe would go viral. These spontaneous moments where you're singing somewhere and the songs that do well, but it wasn't my aim, And I just went, what are we going to sing? And I didn't actually even know this at the time, but Krista was recording on her phone. I didn't even think to tell her to get the phone out or record it because, it wasn't planned. And a gentleman shouted, "Town I love so well, Capo 3, key to G." I just went, okay. So I just started going, "In my memory," started singing it, and he started singing it. Brilliant. And he had an unbelievable voice.
He was good.
He was brilliant. Wow. It was amazing.
Did you get his name after?
Yeah, his name is Chris McLaughlin.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was amazing.
Fair play to Chris.
Fair play to Chris. Fair play.
And great for just getting the buzz going.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have that talent, but somebody like that then that's getting everybody going. Yeah. I think everybody in the country wanted to be on that bus at that stage.
Yeah, I think so, and it was nice because sometimes when you make a bit of content, you can feel like you're asking a lot from people, like me, like listen to me, this is my song, this is my. Whereas in this video, it was like everyone on the bus and showcasing someone else's talent. So I think that's why it just resonated with so many people, that it was just a really lovely moment, something good to see in social media,
And it sort of begs that question, how you spend your time, so between music and promoting Tiernán Heffron. So, talk to me a bit about that.
Yeah. So I feel that like being an artist with having your own name all becomes the one. Mm-hmm. So say, if you're an artist but you had a band, that's your band identity. But whereas with me, Tiernán Heffron, the person who is good in his bad days and who lives a normal life like anyone else, and then there's Tiernán Heffron, the artist, who is writing, who is having imposter syndrome on the daily, self-doubt, big dreams, a lot of gigs, has to kind of balance that together. Mm-hmm. So it's important for me to take time looking after myself and my own health, and then it's also important for me to be the Tiernán Heffron, the artist who is writing songs, who's promoting, who's managing himself. But
you've thought that out well, though. You're living that. That doesn't just happen. So have there been times when, maybe you've thought about giving it all up? It's been tough, and that's what's driven you to bring that structure, bring that mentality, the logical. What you've just said there makes total sense. And if I look across many artists, many sports people, many people in the limelight, this is the challenge, that they get consumed by the world, the crazy world that they're in, the crazy life that they lead. There's no time for them.
Yeah.
So there was a time.
Yeah. I mean, there has been times where I've thought, I wouldn't say give up, because I don't think I'll never give up, because it's what that wee kid when he was 6 years old got that guitar and fell in love doing. So I think that'll always be in me. I can't ever, no matter how difficult it gets, I can't ever imagine giving up, packing it in, because I know the next day if I got a massive opportunity, I'd jump at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's definitely been times where I thought, will this ever happen?
Mm-hmm.
Will I start seeing it's not all about numbers, but in today's game, numbers do help.
Yeah.
Will I ever start seeing an increase in my following going up or my monthly listeners?
Yeah.
Will I ever get them good gigs that I've always dreamed of?
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I always kept believing, and I'm more so now than ever, things have actually started happening. I've heard a lot of people saying, actually, that it's the moments where they don't search for it and they don't go looking for it, then it happens.
Yeah.
And about a couple of years ago became the most difficult time, thinking in my head, I haven't wrote a song in a while, haven't done a great gig in a while, haven't released in a while. It's hard to fund it all myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 years later, it's actually happening more than ever.
Yeah.
When haven't gone looking for it.
Yeah, it's funny how
So it's strange.
the world works, isn't it?
Yeah, but no, I don't really believe in giving up if you love it.
Yeah. Going to do a quick fire round. Always
Okay,
good fun. So
okay.
I have a few quick questions here. So, dream collaboration.
It's supposed to be quick, isn't it?
Well, are quick and
Can I
quick.
give you two?
Yeah.
Aaron Rowe
Mm-hmm.
and Bruce Springsteen.
Wow, Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rowe.
Shit for the
Cool.
stars there.
Dream venue.
Waterfront Hall.
Oh,
Hint, hint.
thank you for that. That's something I might be able to do something
Okay.
about. So I think you're just saying that.
No, honestly, Waterfront. But other than the Waterfront, let me say, supposed to be quick fire. O2, Belfast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And best Northern Irish artist right now, other than yourself.
Right now, I'm gonna say Joe McVeigh.
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah, big fan of Joe.
You got to look Joe up for
He's
those that are listening.
Brilliant, yeah.
An artist you've learned the most from?
I'm gonna say Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
Because I've listened to a lot of his podcasts and I find him very knowledgeable. So Ed Sheeran.
And he also uses Loudon.
Yeah,
Loudon guitars.
Yeah.
Biggest misconception about Tiernán Heffron?
I feel that like being brought up in like the country and stuff, people think I'm like a country singer.
Mm-hmm.
And like, don't get me wrong, I love like American country music and Keith Urban and all that. It's some of the best music. But I feel like people think I'm just like, oh, that country singer. But like, I'm not. I love like pop music and I love rock music and I love all sorts of different genres. So I think it would be that probably that people just think I'm like a country singer, but I'm a jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades. Well, listen, thank you. This has been great conversation.
Thank
I
you.
was wondering whether you would do us the honour of playing us out with the song that maybe means something to you.
Sure.
Is that something you could do?
Absolutely, yeah.
On
Be
the
a
Loudon?
pleasure.
Great. Well, listen, Tiernán, an absolute pleasure to have got to know you recently.
Yes,
Absolute gentleman
you
that
too.
you are, and seen you in
Thanks.
action across
Thank
the
you.
stages, and really looking forward to what we're going to do together at the Ulster Hall in January.
Me too.
With the big stage show.
Thanks, Rob.
It's going to be good. Pleasure.
Long may it
Tiernán.
continue.
Yeah.
Cheers. I don't know how to say this, but I'll figure it out. You say you know when you know, and I think you found it out. I'm stumbling my words, I'm freaking out. It's just us in this moment, I don't have no doubts. This is the start of the rest of our lives. I wanna stay in this moment forever. If I could carry you home every night, this promise to is one love. It's always gonna be you and I. Forever isn't long enough with you. Free falling, I'm learning to fly. I wanna take a chance on life, just you and I see a vision of you at the altar, in a white dress with your mother by your side. This is the start of the
this morning.